Hello. So it is. So if you don't know who I am, my name's Carrie Holmes. My name's actually Carrie Challen now, but now I go under the name of Typical London Girl. Um, and this is my Sunday chat video that I like to do each week. So I'm not all. I would put makeup on, but I'm full of cold today, and so please excuse me. I've got Christmas presents behind me. If it wasn't, all the stuff is at the back. But I want to still do a video because I like doing these types of videos, and so please excuse the hair and the makeup that I don't have on. Just you know, please be okay with it. So I want to talk about today is about kids in education because we've had real trouble. Let me just we've had real big sort of troubles with schools because my son is under Synco, which is a special system they use for kids that need like one-to-one support, which my son has. But because the previous school said they couldn't cater for him anymore, and that he'd be better off going to a school with less children in each classroom, that he had to change to a new school. And this was when he was due to go up to year 3, where he had to re-apply to go back to the school, but they thought it was the best idea for him to move on and go to a more specialised school, which he's at now. But now they're saying that they can't get the funding, to support Henry fully either, and so he may need to change schools again, which is so I feel like I'm hung in the air, and it's like hope for the best, and it's an awful feeling because it's like, he's changed school twice already, and it means like starting all over again. And I feel like worried that he's not gonna, move on, in school because of the way it's run. I do think the education system does need to be sorted out because it's so frustrating, And we really do like the school he's at now because he does different skills. He's going to do swimming at school next year, as well as doing horse riding lessons, which he's been doing at his new school. And he may be able to go on a residential trip as well, but they're discussing that whether he should or shouldn't. But I don't want my son to miss out, and I feel that some way because he wanted to change schools again, that may be the case, and it should be about making sure that that child gets a good education, and the school should be able to teach children with special needs. Now my son Henry is 9, and he's got ADHD and autism in social communication. But we don't use it as an excuse for way sometimes he would lash out, but we make sure that he understands about boundaries and personal space and respecting others, taking turns of playing games, because he can find that kind of tricky. So I know it's up to us to help him as well, but you send your child to school to help for support when it comes to child's learning. Because nothing that I've got anything against homeschooling at all. It's just that I'm not a teacher, and I do want to work in childcare, but I still need training myself, and I don't feel that where he's at school, he can get a lot more knowledge and understanding. He loves being around other children. I don't want him to be isolated, and at school now he's starting to join in with group classes rather than him having one-to-one all the time, because it does take him away from the other kids that are in school. And he doesn't really spend that much time in his mainstream classroom. We went to an evening where they talked about, show what the children will be learning, and there was a new teacher starting who introduced herself, and one of the parents asked, about his mainstream classroom, he doesn't even know his teacher at all, and there is no kind of effort to get to know the child because specialised education, and it's and because they are catering for different children, I understand it is a massive pressure, but it should every school now. Henry's not the only one that's got autism or ADHD, and we are managing it the best we can, but we want support from the school, and it feels like we've been moved pillar to post. and we're still on tenterhooks, wondering, oh God, he's going to have to go back to another school. And really and truly, if I could wave a magic wand, I'd have him, in the school he is now, because he is getting so much out of it. And it's such a shame that he's going to be taken from that and into another school and have to meet meet, start again basically. And it's, I want Henry to have a good education because it's important. I want him to enjoy school, which he does. But having to keep changing, it's kind of can unsettle them as well, because they get used to environments and getting used to seeing the same children every day, having a routine, and it means his routine changing again, which can unsettle him a lot. Because Henry works better when there's structure and where it's a little bit more laid out for him. He doesn't like surprises and he doesn't like to be put on the spot. So what I do with Henry, and they've been trying to do at school, is that this is what we did then, this is what we're going to do now, and this is what we're going to do next. And that is a really good, good routine, because it doesn't surprise them. They know what to expect each day. They will get time to play as well as learn, be able to socialise with other children. They are allowed to, still be able to play. But I understand that as he progresses, he does need to learn. Like today, I got him to write a letter to Santa, and he did it perfectly. A few moments, and I have to be kind of tough, because he can be quite. He knows he can do it, but he doesn't always conform in showing what he is actually capable of. And that is an issue we're trying to work on, is how, because trying to find out what he learns each day is very tough, because he doesn't often say what he's learned. He has got like a message book which we write in and the teacher writes in, so we kept what he learned today, what the topic was this week. So they do different topics each week. And I feel like he's moving on, but it's a feeling that, oh, this is not going to last, and we feel, frustrated, because at the moment, my son's dad works at a local hospital, and so he can't always do where my son gets dropped off, because he gets a taxi to him from school now via the Surrey Council, because and so it's a tough thing to have to deal with. When it comes to kids' education, they should be able to settle, easily. And Henry has. He was very wobbly when we first started transitioning from nursery to school. But he didn't have, when he changed schools, he didn't have a meltdown at all. But there's always a possibility that he could, because especially if we go to another school, it's just going to be, are we going to have the same issue there as well? Is it going to be a good environment? We don't even know what the teachers are really going to be like. We were due to go to the school, but because of COVID, we weren't allowed to go and see it. But we did via Zoom and that get to meet, or find out a little bit more about another school that he may be going to, but not a lot. So we just have got special learning difficulties, and that's really tough, because especially if you've got. I feel for those parents who've got more than one child, because, and I know what people are going to say. Yeah, but it was up to you. You wanted to have children. Yeah, but you need the next generation to come through. If this world is going to evolve, we need people to have babies, because we need more. We want more people coming through, like the fire service. We want people to, and I think about working in emergency services. We need the next generation to grow. So it's not that, oh well, you chose to have a child. Henry was unplanned, but there's no way that I was gonna ever not want him. I did want. When I fell pregnant with Henry, I was more worried that I was gonna be good, whether I was gonna be good enough or not. But I always knew that I wanted a child, and that shouldn't be any need to point the finger. It should be about a child, and it should be about school and him learning what suits his needs and the other children's needs. I know they can't cater for everybody, but having to change 3 schools, I mean, it's unsettling. And I know my son, he likes repetition. That's how he's learned. So, it's not be good for him to be able to stay at school. And it's just that the system is that, and if we don't accept the school that they offer, and they can then take away the transport, which we like them, because obviously I now live in Wimbledon. He lives with his dad in Epsom, and we try and work around it. But it's, having to change again, and where is it, will we have the same system? Does that mean, because at the moment, I'm looking to work in childcare myself, but it's getting the hours, even though I do want to, my, ambition is to be a full-time writer, but that takes time. Not something that happens overnight. It's just something that well, for me anyway. I know there are those, stories where people have made it, but I understand that there's loads of people writing books and doing YouTube. So, it's a massive community now. So, I do it because I enjoy it, but it would be something that I would like to do full time. But I do obviously want to work. I do also, I talked about before, work outside as well, because I want to build my knowledge. I'm working in healthcare or education, because I would love to go around, to different schools and talk about mental health, talk about education, getting the best, education, and I feel with kids in education, there seems to be this conflict of, they know better about our child than what we do, and it's not the case. Schools need to work together with the parents, so the parents have a peace of mind and know that their child is going to be educated in a way that is fulfilling, that is enjoyable, that is making socialising. You should teach about interaction with other children, how to where Henry has struggled with social skills. He's a very sociable boy, but he's about learning about personal space, boundaries, taking turns. They're the things that at the moment he finds challenging. So that's what we're trying to do around him. And he doesn't really is a fan of reading or writing. But we do it because we know it's going to help him, in the long run. But we need to be on the same page as the school, and that's why, the system we have now is good. But as soon, because he may not be able to start at school, he's going to have to change again, and that's where it kind of, I have to start from scratch again, and that's the issue that we're having. And the reason why I didn't want to do this video is because I know around this time, parents around in the UK, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but they will start to apply to, have their child go to primary school, which is like, so in America, what do they call it? In America, what's it they have in America? It's grades. So you got first grade, second grade, third grade. Well, we do it in class. So we do it like, we do it in sort of year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, year 7, 8, 9, so we do it that way, and the year starts from September to August. And so in order to get the school that you want in the UK, this is the time that you have to start thinking about looking around at schools and applying for schools. So that's why I wanted to do this video, because it might be getting nearer, it will be getting nearer to having to look for a school, making decisions, or it will suit your child's needs. And so, and it's a massive transition for everybody, and that's what, the authorities need to understand, that, it's not just about, hoping for the best. You want it to be suited for your child and you're happy with the way they run the school, what they stand for, what success have they had, and in the UK they get checked by an organisation called Ofsted, who go around schools to check on them, and if they've got luckily with Henry, the 2 schools that we chose as number, because you have 3 choices, and Henry got his second choice, which was a school in Epsom, which was round the corner. And they initially said that they could cater for children with special learning difficulties, and suddenly they said that he probably wouldn't be best staying at the school and go to another school. So we were a little bit, dubious about that. But like I say, the second school it does seem to cater for them really well. It's just that they're worrying about the funding and getting the support, and will they be able to carry on at that school because of that. And it just seems like we're hanging in the air, and I want to do this because I know there'll be other parents going for the same thing, and it needs to be sorted out, because it's not fair for parents having to work around school, work around what they want, they think was best for a child. A parent knows their child. They see them every day, so they're, I don't think enough is taken into account when it comes to school, kids and education. Is that the authorities know best, but they, I know they can't cater for every single parent, but they could, but it should be down to the school, the parents, the school, and then the local authority, not the other way around. So it's just really tough, and I know you can get private tutoring, and I've even thought about that, but and I would pay for that, but it's kind of like, well, he still needs that social interaction with other children. So we still do learning here. There's a brilliant site called Oak Academy, which I've talked about before. I'm not sponsored by them in any means, but they're a good organisation. They do extra curriculum classes and lessons, so that's a good format. It's just that and I don't blame the school. I blame the local authority and the government, because they should be doing more to make sure that every child gets a good education, and they don't have to keep changing schools, and that is well run, and they meet their what's coming back now. Well, basically, because every school has like values and principles, and to cater for children, but then they don't follow it through, which happened in Henry's first school. It can be very frustrating, and very frustrating for you, the child, and the school. So I do think more needs to be done when it comes to kids and education. And if you've got a story, then please share in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, because I do think that we as parents should come together rather than being against each other. We should work together to make sure that all children get a good education, and not just in the UK but around the world, because we want our children to succeed in life and be happy and get the most out of school, and that should be the case, and not having to worry about where they're going to go next. So anyways, but I'm going to wrap up this video now. I hope that you found it helpful and you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to see more, then please do. And if there's any topics that you'd like me to talk about, then please leave a comment below, and remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.